Okay. Thank you so much for speaking to me. This show is incredibly charming. And I really feel like all of these characters are authentic to themselves. With
Mhm.
your character in particular, you play Reggie. When we meet you, you were the player for Detroit Lions. You're bleeding money, essentially. You have a whole bunch of suspensions and a DUI. You're trying to rebuild your career. And of all things, it's go on this TV show, or you're kind of facing more time. What was it about Reggie? And because you come across as such a genuine character, what was it about his heart that you wanted to explore more with this show?
Well, I feel like I've been typecast. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What I wanted to explore more about this character, I think I have a lot of really good friends that are pro athletes, and that work in entertainment and such. And I think that a lot of times, uh, the general public assumes that these people are one dimensional. And what I love about the way that the character has been written is that you know that there's potential for more. And his interaction with Gabby, played by Simone Rick Hasner,
Mhm.
um, kind of tips its hat to that even in the first episode, where you know that there's more beneath the surface. So I kind of wanted to scratch and see what else lied under there. I got an opportunity to talk with the writers, often on a weekly basis, and kind of help guide the character and see what he becomes. My friends that are professional athletes and stuff, they have very, very strong family ties. A lot of times, the entire family has helped like pitch into this person's life and help,
Mhm.
get them to where they are. So I wanted to explore what family looks like, what responsibility looks like being Reggie, what's really, really important to him, versus what his, public persona is, and all of the antics and off the field issues and stuff that he has. Why does he do this? I always want to get to the heart of the character and figure out why they do what they do. What is your why? Because we're all motivated by different things in life, as adults, and having different responsibilities and stuff. Our motivations are a big reason, uh, you know why we do the things that we do. And so I kind of want to get to the heart of him, and find out what else is behind this kind of wild child, semi bad boy with a good heart. Why does he do these things? And so it's been fun kind of exploring that.
Right. Now, Reggie is also a showman. He's an athlete, and he shows out, he shows up, and it garners him a lot of attention. However, when I see the character with Gabby, it seems to be actual genuine. But is he genuine, or is this all putting on a show?
Man, my answer to that would be, tune in Mondays, 9, 8 Central on Fox. Find out. No, I think, there's definitely, he's got a heart. I don't think he's just some dumb jock. I think that Gabby sees him in a different way. She doesn't necessarily put him on the same pedestal that the rest of the world does, and that
Right.
intrigues him. Someone who's actually treating me like a human being. Humanity is very, very important. I have been blessed to work in this business for the last 11 years, and I've seen, everybody from like beginning actors all the way up to, I had the pleasure of working with The Rock and Kevin Hart, and guys on that level.
Mhm.
And the commonality that I've seen between people on both ends of the spectrum is that people love to be treated with genuine, kindness and respect, and be treated as humans. So I had a dinner one time with the director, that I worked with years ago, and it was happened to be his birthday. So I had 3 other castmates pitch in for the check so that he wouldn't pay for the check. He's a billionaire,
Right.
and it brought him to tears because he was like, no one ever pays for me. No one's
Mhm.
ever paid for me. This was his 52nd birthday, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So I think it's that level of humanity that she treats him with that makes him realize, like, wait, maybe I don't have to be as wild and stuff as I have been. Maybe there is more to me than just football. Maybe. And I
Right.
think that these are the things that we're kind of we're given a peek at, even in, in the early episodes of the big league.
Right. So Nick's goal is to get Reggie to fall in love with Gabby and then break her heart. Do you feel that Nick is typecasting Reggie, or there might be something there?
That's a great question. Oh, wily Nick. Nick is a master manipulator
Mhm.
on the show, and he knows people. Um, he figures out how to put people in the most intense kind of dealings and situations with each other, and
Mhm.
so let's see what happens. If you get a little, oil and water, let's see, if we can shake them up and make them mix even for a moment until they separate as well. So um I think that, in working in TV and producing as much reality TV as he has, and being able to find conflicts and stuff like that, it's definitely, he's trying to, put us against each other, and it may or may not work.
Mhm.
But yeah, I definitely think that he may be right, because, the Reggie character can be a little bit cantankerous and a little self-destructive as well. Doesn't, know what's best for him. And, Nick at the same time is playing on the vulnerability of Gabby, and knowing that she's at this, point in her life where she needs to kind of leap off the ledge, and maybe hasn't had love in a long time,
Right.
even possibly. But yeah.
How does Brittany come into play with all of this? Because we see the interactions between you and Gabby, and Brittany is just always there. And you kind of go to Brittany. Um, does Reggie view Brittany as a potential interest, or is it just him being nice?
Yes. I think, that's an interesting question, because I actually had the same questions,
Mhm.
as well early on when I was, reading all of this. I think sometimes people are harmless in our lives, you know. Um, it won't hurt to have them, and it won't hurt to not have them either. And so if they don't necessarily, you know, do anything extremely special, we kind of just let them be there, maybe. But also, I think we all like to have our egos stroked a little bit as well. We all like to feel attractive and feel important, especially when we're going through things in our lives and we're losing things. You might need to feel a little bit more pretty, on a certain day. If people make you feel that way, why not, entertain them? I'll say that much.
Okay, that works. So I'm talking about the dancing aspect. There was a scene that I particularly love that's coming up where it felt like a one shot in the hallway at the hotel. Can you talk about, you don't go full out dancing, but can you talk about the training that you went through for this show?
Did you got an opportunity to see that shot? That's really dope. I haven't even seen that yet, but
Oh,
I mean, I was
it works
there.
well.
So yeah. The dancing was extensive. The dance training on this show was extensive, and it gave me a, a profound respect for people who dedicate their lives to dance. We can only do what our bodies allow us to do for the amount of time that our bodies allow us to do them. And these people on this show are absolutely incredible choreographers and dancers and creatives, and they're athletes. They're true athletes. And so it's been a really, really steep learning curve for
Mhm.
someone who has no background in it and who's in their 30s now. And so it's been really, really rewarding to get an opportunity to kind of take a peek into that world and find out what it takes to be, a professional at it. We've done, 5 hour a day dance rehearsals, 7 hour a day dance rehearsals at times, to get the big numbers down, 5 days a week, Saturdays, whatever it takes. But Chris Scott, our choreographer, and producer, is also a producer on the show.
Right.
He has the best team in place, with people from So You Think You Can Dance, Dancing with the Stars. He choreographed in the Heights as well. And so we're taught by some of the dopest people in the game, for sure. And sometimes I look at what they do, how they pick up these entire routines in like 15 seconds. And I'm like, it's gonna take me 2 weeks. Thank you. But it's been great.
Do they teach you the proper technique first and then kind of downgrade it? Because the goal is you guys can't dance, and that's the point of the show. So
Mhm.
how do they teach you the proper movements and then you just kind of interpret that into your own? Or is it choreographed to show like these are just average people who are trying to dance?
Well, I mean, the show is about a group of amateur dancers. Thank God we're not supposed to be like professionals or anything like that. But I think that in turn lends itself to the idea that kind of anyone can do it. Come one, come all, come as you are. Give us your best, and that's what the show is about. So, they had a really graceful approach to it. I think on the show, and making it so inclusive as well. I think that's what the heart of the show is what our world looks like around us, and how we all are kind of dealing with the same things, no matter how rich or poor you are, no matter how heartbroken or whole you are, no matter how skinny or big you are, no matter how young or old you are. And so that's the heart of the show. And they've done an excellent job of bringing all these people from all these different worlds together. Um, I love the movie Crash. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. There's another movie called Babel that I really love, where like you bring people from all different walks of life, you unite them on with one common goal, or you unite them in one common city. And this show kind of has an element of both of those. That goal just happens to be dance, and for all different reasons from all different walks of life.
Wonderful. So this is a large ensemble. So I was wondering, we haven't seen the full show yet, but is there a certain interaction with one of the characters that you're looking forward for fans to see? Or is there someone you haven't worked yet that's actually in the show that you would have loved to see Reggie interact with?
Yeah, man, great question.
Thank you.
Every script that I've read of this show, I keep thinking to myself, where do we go from here? Because this is so good. Like we don't have anywhere to go from here, and they keep leveling up every single episode. I fall in love with a different character. I've fallen in love with characters that are not mine, more often than not. The majority of the falling in love has been with other characters. There's so many people with incredible backstories. They found a way to tell each person's story without it being convoluted and being like, okay, we have 15 storylines going on at one time. We have a big cast. It's a pretty big cast. And it would be easy to kind of get lost in that. But the way that they've kind of intertwined everyone's stories, it doesn't feel overwhelming or like we've got too much going on at once. But I really love the Mike. I'm trying my best to not give things away. I love the Mike storyline. I love the Paula storyline. My character and Simone Ricaz and her Gabby. I love that. I love her relationship with her kid, being a father myself. So there's a lot of storylines that I think everyone's going to be really, really engaged in, and deservedly so, because we're able to see ourselves like in real life in each of these characters, and that's what really like makes this thing go.
Right.
That's the beating heart of this thing. These are real human beings that deal with what I'm dealing with currently and what I have dealt with, in the past as well.
Right. Reggie has multiple DUIs. I was wondering, will the show get to the heart as to why and what it is that's really troubling him?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know that we'll get to that, but I can assume that a character that's an athlete in his 30s, the average lifespan, a career lifspan of an NFL player is 3.5 years. These guys are coming out of college at 22 years old. That means they're done on average by 25 to 26 years old. So for him to have lasted this long playing such a catastrophic kind of sport where it's just constant bodies clashing, I would think that there's some need for reprieve. You might be in a lot of pain physically even, And, you know, I know a lot of my athlete friends have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders where they're the only person in their family to ever make it out. So
Right.
I think those elements kind of exist in Reggie's world as well. And hopefully it's something that we'll get to explore more as the season goes on.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you. Where are you from?
I'm from New York City, Manhattan.
Where's your family from?
My family's from the South, Virginia and South Carolina.
You have an accent.
I do? I didn't know.
Yeah. Nobody's ever told you that before?
No.
Oh man, you got a little bit of an accent. I couldn't tell. Okay. All right. My family's Dominican and Haitian. So you are from like, you know, Dominicanville or something like that.
No.
That's where I used to live when I lived in
My
New York.
father is Dominican, but he's like, he
Yeah.
migrated here. Yeah.
Okay, so you're making me sound like I'm crazy. Your dad's
No, you're
Dominican.
not crazy.
I knew that. Okay, yeah. Your dad's Dominican. I was like, I hear the accent. It's there. It's funny because some people tell me that I have an accent sometimes too, and I was like, I don't ever hear it.
Right.
But yeah, no, I got that. Anyway, it's really nice to meet you. Thank you. I appreciate
too.
the questions are refreshing.
No problem. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.